Hey, I'm Michael Dad with USCCA, and today I'm standing here with a few different EDC bags from Eberlestock. We've tested these on the range, we've tested them in the combatives fighting space, and I'm going to go through the details of each one, talk about the strengths, maybe even some of the weaknesses, things I would like to see changed to help you make an informed decision to keep your family safe and prepared. So firstly, the Fade brief bag. This is a bag that I like to use very often, almost daily, depending on the garments that I'm wearing. They've made a lot of updates to this bag. I have the old one. Just by the look of it, the size of the bag is already bigger than it was previously. In the testing that I found, it didn't make a difference to be faster or slower. The testing, the size actually was just, you could stuff more things in it. So I really like that. The magnetic enclosure has a little bit more volume. It also is lined with like a Velcro, like the hook pile tape, so you can put attachments inside if you wanted. The update of the snap, there's really been no update that I can tell to it. It still feels about the same, but what you really want with this bag is some kind of rigidity. I've noticed when there's nothing in it, it's harder to access that pocket. But if you do have a laptop in it, it makes it much easier to get inside. So what I do is I take a piece of cardboard and I just cut out a square piece of cardboard and I put it in the zipper pocket to give it a little bit of a frame, so that way it's a bit easier if the bag is empty, that I can still access my weapon quickly. All right, the exterior pockets, the things that you can access very quickly, knickknacks. I actually use mine a lot. I keep spare mags. I keep, if I have to throw my keys in real quick, I'll put it there to avoid going in and out of the zippers. The zippers on the old bag weren't my favorite. As you would pull, there would be a lot of friction involved. Whether that made it stronger, I don't know, but it was just kind of an inconvenience to go in and out of the bag. The new zippers flow very, very easily. The bag, just the material of the bag not being that like heavy Cordura nylon, it actually does make a difference, I think. They added these quick draw pull tabs to all of their bags. And this is something that's so important. You know, it's a feature that gets overlooked, I think, but it's so important when you have to access something quickly in the bag. Your gross motor skill, you just grab like this and you grab, and those pull tabs actually give you something to hold on to and yank it open. I don't use, in this particular bag, I don't use the normal zipper pockets for accessing my pistol. I use the magnetic snaps, but they do have the ability in here. Everything in this bag now has hook pile tape, Velcro lining, so you could put holster attachments, you could put magazine holder attachments, you can put any kind of accessories you can imagine inside this to make it customizable. And I really like that. That's something you should do, is be able to customize your own bag to fit you and your needs. Something I really liked in testing these bags, and I've really tested these, not only for years in the real world, but also on the mats. I've had my head bashed in by guys while trying to fight for these bags. And I'll tell you some of the things I like. This strap actually is anchored by heavy duty metal and nylon, and there's a new update to this bag that has a fully metal swivel. And whatever you want to call this part, I'm not a manufacturer, I don't know what this part is called, but this part, which is essentially a carabiner that has a swivel, it's fully metal, and the last one was not. It was a composite, it was a plastic type material. And while that never broke for us, it definitely felt like it would break. There's just like a structure to it that feels so sturdy, and when we were fighting for it, there was no chance that that was going to break, which is definitely on your mind when somebody's trying to pull your gun. The pull handle here, I had my friend Sapow, who's about 220 pounds, and myself tugging at this bag, and we pulled it, however much that force is between two strong men, and not a single stitch even moved off of the bag. So the sewing to it, the anchor attachments, these are things that are built incredibly well and incredibly strong. The only way you're going to lose this bag is if you either take the strap off or it gets removed for you, or if you just leave the bag itself somewhere else. So that's something I really love about this bag. They added an inside zipper pocket that I really like. It's a quick zipper, you can get to it fast, but it's got space inside of it for you know, your everyday carry for the office, everyday carry for your job, but also, you know, survival. So there's pouches for your medical kits. There's you know, pouches and holders that you could put your trauma shears in, as well as, you know, knives, things like that. So there's a lot of different organization features in here that make this an actual real world bag and not just an EDC bag, because unlike, you know, the movies, your EDC bag really truly has to be everyday carry. It's not just setting this bag up to go to war and go to combat. This bag is for going to the office, meeting somebody for coffee. This bag is for taking my laptop in and doing work, while also carrying all the things that I need to protect myself and my family. Moving on to the Apprentice bag. This is not one of the bags that we tested on the range or in combatives, mainly because there's no quick access weapon pouch. You can store your short barrel rifles and pistols inside of it, but it's not something that's designed specifically to get the gun out very quickly. So we didn't test it in that manner, but it's a great way to carry to and from your everyday needs and still have access to your weapon if you need it. The Apprentice is definitely more of a backpack, but I've gone traveling with this. I went overseas for a few weeks in it. You can live out of this bag. It's a bit small to bring only as your luggage, but on the day-to-day, it carries everything you need and it organizes it very well. The main pouch, what I love about the main pouch is it's not a top zipper where everything gets lost. It's actually a side fold zipper, so as you lay the bag flat on the ground, you have access to every square inch of this bag, so it makes packing in the nooks and crannies very easy to access. It has like a large, kind of stretchy, sheeted compartment where if you wanted to put medical pouches, if you wanted to put larger gear, even water bladders, you could put in there. But it's kind of a catch-all, whatever you wanted to put, a big main compartment storage. The wing has a couple pouches inside that you can organize even further inside. Very, very nice for such a small backpack. The top pouch has that kind of velvety inside. I've definitely, you know, put sunglasses in there and it's not going to scratch. You can store quite a bit. Actually, you can take a Glock. This is a Glock 19. You can stick this gun completely inside of it and it zips shut on the first try and it holds it perfectly in place. So I actually have carried concealed with this backpack. It's not as fast to access as maybe some of the other ones because you are having it on your back, but it's a place you can carry and it's gonna be the same grab every single time. I know it wouldn't fit a full size, but anything with a compact size handle will definitely fit in here. And then lastly, I don't know if you want to call this the main pouch, but the giant full-length pouch that loads from the top here, we have been able to put in a full-size micro Roni or other short barrel rifle, folding the stock, and it goes down very easily. If I extended the stock completely out, it would still hang out just a little bit in there. It's not a massive pack, but anything that's collapsible buttstock, I can stick inside this pouch. And now I've got essentially a mini rifle or short barrel rifle inside this little bag. So for people who work overseas, people who work in security or policing roles, this is a great bag because it's low vis, blends in, there's no cordura, there's no molly attachments. It doesn't scream, hey, I'm an operator, or hey, I'm a police officer. And I really like that about this bag. Lastly, there's two features that are really cool that I haven't seen in a lot of other backpacks, and that's the water bottle holders. So you see normally the exterior of a bag has these little mesh pouches. You stick an Nalgene or a water bottle. This is more like a concealed water pouch that you can stick in the side and nothing sticks out of the bag. So it really does keep it sleek and discreet. Big fan of this bag. Not your normal everyday carry bag, but if you carry on your person, this is a great everyday carry bag for travel, for going to and from the office, as well as carrying your EDC items, maybe other than your pistol. And now going over the Fade Sling bag from Eberlestock. This bag is actually really cool. What I don't like about it, I'll just get it out of the way right now, is the look of sling bags always to me screams, hey, that's a tactical bag, he's got a gun in there. Every time I see a guy out front of a restaurant or a bank and he's standing like this overseas in country, I go, that guy's carrying a weapon. Whether or not it's true, that's just what I see. So immediately sling bags I'm always a little bit suspect of. But fighting from this, in our previous videos, I have fought with this bag and other sling bags as well. And in the previous videos, we have on the range testing this bag. This tested the fastest of the draw times. It also was the best overall fighting from this bag because the security it has to your body. It was really hard for Sapao to take it off of me, and it was really quick to access once it was on my chest. Pull tab, get the gun, and it's out. So overall, performance-wise, I think the sling bag, you know, is better than most of the other options. But from a, you know, discreet standpoint, it is not the most discreet bag out there. So what else do I love about this bag? Well, I really like each side is completely the same. It's ambidextrous. So I have a tertiary zipper here, and then on the other side, I have that same zipper, so the pocket goes all the way through. So if you're left-handed or right-handed, it doesn't matter. This bag can access from here, this bag can access from here, and that's really cool. There are 3 tiers of zippers. There's the main compartment, and the main compartment has a pull tab, and you can remove this pull tab and put it on the other zippers, but for the main compartment, this is where I would put the firearm. The main compartment opens up, and once again, the hook and pile tape, Velcro that you can put inside to customize. So what did I do to customize? Because it is a large open pouch, your weapon would kind of slide around. So what I did was I took one of their extra accessory pouches that you can buy, and I bought one, and then I just stuffed it in here, and then it sits, and then when I take my pistol, it now has essentially a holster that keeps it in place. So something that's really cool about this is you can accessorize however you want, wherever you want. And if I turn the bag upside down, whatever, the gun stays where it's supposed to be. So every time I have to draw, it draws from the same position every single time. So the main compartment opens up completely left or right side, and it's got the fast pull tab, which is just a game changer, I think, for EDC bags, is having a tab that gross motor skill can just gorilla grip and yank it open, and it's very fast. The middle tier, the middle pouch, you know, it's kind of similar. It's just a big open pouch. What I did was I took one of their larger accessory pouches and I added it into the Velcro there. So now I have a bit more optionality of ways to carry from the sling bag. And then, you know, the third pouch is kind of the same, just more little tiny zippers and little tiny pouches where you can hold your everyday carry. So this is definitely the smaller of the 3 bags, but you can put a lot of your everyday carry, from flashlights to knives to med kits to your firearm. You can't have any kind of like a short barrel rifle or anything inside here, but that's really not what you need if you carry something like this. You just need something for your pistol and your everyday needs. The last thing that I like about this bag is the actual strap itself. There are 3 attachment points. There's attachment point for right hand, left hand, and then like a neutral, just over the shoulder stance that would be essentially ambidextrous if you clipped it in there. The clip is the same as in the Fade series for the Brief and some of the other bags they have. It's a fully metallic swivel carabiner. It holds really strong. Once again, in the other video when I was fighting with Sapao is a 200+ pound man, so am I. And when we're tugging, I mean, I thought this thing was gonna rip in half, and it actually did not. There were a few seam stitches that broke, but they weren't structural to holding the bag or supporting the bag. They were actually just seams for the cushion. You know, you can see right there. So the only thing that was coming apart was just the facade. It wasn't the actual structure. They have a plastic connector that I was for sure was going to break. You know, 400 pounds opposing, it didn't break. It held very strong. It has a anti-slip clip here that prevents the slack from changing. It's a really strong strap, and I totally didn't expect that, so big fan of it. The only thing I'm not a big fan of on this strap is the mechanism that they use to secure the slack at the end. It really moves around a lot and slides and kind of bunches up. It's just something that as I'm drawing and playing around with this bag and we're fighting from, it's a constant shifting and moving it back to be like this. So that's something I think they could improve upon, but nothing that like a rubber band couldn't fix, or a piece of tape if I wanted to pick up the slack. So overall, this bag is probably my favorite in terms of performance, both on the mats in fighting and also on the range. So there you have it. Those are 3 bags, brand new from Eberlestock, that I've been testing on the mats, on the range in our previous videos, and now just kind of showing you the ins and outs of these bags. These bags are not, you know, we're not paid to be offering these bags. These are just 3 that we chose. We purchased them ourselves and we testing them. I'm a big fan of all 3 of these. I would wear them every day. They solve almost all of the problems that I would have in everyday carry. Definitely something you want to train first though. A lot of people are hesitant to carry off-body bags. Understandably, if you don't train to fight, it's something where you're carrying your gun away from your body and you may have to fight for that bag or for that gun in some kind of an ambush, you know, something where people are too close to you. But you also need to train it on the range, training the draw times, training how fast you can get the weapon out. But regardless, you have to keep training on it, because that is the only way you can make these bags work in your favor. Otherwise, you're just holding something that somebody else is going to take from you. In the comments section, make sure you let us know what kind of off-body bags you'd like to see us test as well. We would love to try all kinds of different brands, but unfortunately, we just don't want to purchase every bag on the planet. So companies out there, you want us to test your bags, or you at home, you want us to test a bag, let us know. These are just some of the favorites that we've been buying lately. Also, this Apprentice bag, we didn't test this on the range. We didn't test this in the mats because it wasn't really for that purpose, but it does carry short barrel rifles. Let us know if you'd like us to test bags like this, specifically with short barrel rifles or other ways to carry your weapons, maybe not necessarily with quick access pouches or quick draw capability. We'd be happy to test that as well. And then lastly, let us know if you do or do not carry off-body. This is a huge debate. A lot of people are like, I will never carry off-body. And my biggest question to you is, why? Is it because you've tested it, or because you just think so? Because I used to think, you know, off-body bags are bad, and I've tested the crap out of these bags, and I can tell you with 100% certainty, it is a very, very viable option. And as long as you train it, you can get very, very fast and comfortable with this. So I'd like to hear from you guys if you do or don't, and then why. Have you trained it, or is it just something that maybe you've been thinking about for a long time? Thank you for watching, and as always, continue training, because that's how we move forward and that's how we progress.